On May 30th, 1879, a group of students founded the Greek letter society Kappa Psi on a football field in New Haven, Connecticut. Today, Kappa Psi is the oldest and largest professional pharmacy fraternity in the world, with more than 155 chapters, 6,000 collegiate members, and over 87,000 graduate members. Kappa Psi Pharmaceutical Fraternity began its life at the New Haven Collegiate and Commercial Institute, a private prep school for boys founded in 1833 in New Haven, Connecticut. The school was colloquially known as the Russell Military Academy due to its use of military drill and discipline in the education of its students under the leadership of William Huntington Russell, a Major General of the Connecticut National Guard. On May 30th, 1879, F. Harvey Smith, a student at the academy, founded the Greek letter society Kappa Psi at the end of a football game with nearby Cheshire Military Academy.
We had a strenuous game in which stretchers played a very prominent part, and at the end of our game, which was a tie, with darkness to prohibit any further struggle for supremacy, we got all our cripples of both sides together to look at the other fellow, and the outcome of it all was the formation of Kappa Psi. F. Harvey Smith.
Very little is known about F. Harvey Smith. There are no photographs of him in existence. We do not even know for sure what the F in his name stands for, although census records suggest that it may be Frank. On November 30th of the same year, after a Thanksgiving Day football game between Russell Military Academy and the Cheshire Military Academy, the second chapter of Kappa Psi was founded at the Cheshire, Connecticut School. This expansion was fitting, given the tangential role that it played in the initial founding of Kappa Psi itself. A few years later, a third Kappa Psi chapter was founded at Hill House Academy on October 7th, 1894. Although the chapter at Hill House did not last for more than a year, its members included many individuals such as Preston W. Elridge Jr. and William F. Clark, who would eventually play prominent roles in the future of Kappa Psi. Kappa Psi did not survive long as a prep school fraternity, and by 1899, the chapters at Russell and Cheshire had disbanded. The Russell Military Academy did not survive long after the death of Major General Russell, and its former site overseeing New Haven's Wooster Square is now occupied by a magnet school, a funeral home, and private housing. Cheshire Academy is a respected private boarding school in its 221st year of operation, with students from over 29 countries and 42 states. Hill House High School is currently the oldest public high school in New Haven, Connecticut, with a strong record of academic and athletic achievement. As many of the original Kappa Psi members began to look forward to college, the idea of developing Kappa Psi into a national collegiate fraternity crossed many minds, and eventually the idea took root. On December 10th, 1895, a group of Kappa Psi alumni banded together and founded Alpha Chapter, an executive body that would oversee the establishment of new chapters. F. Harvey Smith was elected Grand Alpha, and Preston W. Elridge was elected Grand Omega. Two alumni of Hill House Chapter, Lewis Bishop and Lewis Oakley, were elected Grand Secretary and Treasurer and Grand Historian, respectively. The first collegiate chapter of Kappa Psi to be installed was Delta Chapter at the University of Maryland School of Medicine. William F. Clark, an alumni of Hill House Chapter, had entered the School of Medicine in the fall of 1898 and, with a group of 7 other students, organized and installed Delta Chapter on November 18, 1898. The second collegiate chapter of Kappa Psi was Gamma Chapter at the College of Pharmacy of the City of New York, which eventually became a part of Columbia University before it was closed in 1976. Gamma Chapter was installed on November 20th, 1898 under the direction of Alfred Carl, another alumni of Hill House Chapter. It was originally intended that Gamma Chapter would be installed first, followed by Delta Chapter. However, in order to ensure that both F. Harvey Smith and Preston W. Elridge could be present at the installation ceremonies, the chapters were ultimately founded in the reverse order of what was originally intended. Originally, the designation of Beta Chapter was reserved for Yale University, where Preston W. Elridge and a number of Kappa Psi alumni were enrolled as students. However, this plan did not come to pass, and so the designation of Beta Chapter was ultimately given to the University College of Medicine in Richmond, Virginia, now a part of the Virginia Commonwealth University, on March 31st, 1900. The founding of Beta Chapter occurred on the same day as the first meeting of the Grand Chapter, now called the Grand Council Convention, which took place in New York City. On September 8, 1902, Kappa Psi gained legal status when it was formally incorporated in the state of Delaware as Kappa Psi Fraternity. the corporate application for Kappa Psi described the objective of the fraternity.
The objects or purposes for which and for any of which the corporation is founded are to conduct a mutual fraternal organization, having for its object the mutual education and social advancement of its members, and to this end to unite in fraternal union persons of good character and sound mental health, by conferring upon them certain degrees which shall exemplify industry, sobriety, mutual education, and advancement both in the study of medicine and pharmacy, to assist the faculty of the colleges, universities, or other educational institutions in which it is or shall be established, in promoting such studies and in any or every way whatsoever advance their interests. Kappa Psi Fraternity.
With the national expansion of the railroad and advances in communications technology, Kappa Psi expanded rapidly, and by the beginning of the United States entry into World War I in April 1917, 38 chapters of Kappa Psi had been chartered. The First World War had a negative effect on Kappa Psi, as well as many other fraternities, due to reduction of finances as well as membership. This was in part due to the strong need for members of the medical profession in the war effort, even prior to the entry of the United States into the war. In addition, the consolidation and closing of many schools had also resulted in the shutdown of many chapters. Two medical fraternities, Delta Omicron Alpha and Phi Delta, had lost such a significant number of their chapters that they eventually merged with Kappa Psi in 1917 and 1918 respectively. 624 known members of Kappa Psi served in the United States Red Cross as well as the British and French Armed Forces. A number of members were awarded the British Military Cross and the French Croix de Guerre for their service. The Great War finally ended on November 11, 1918, having claimed the lives of more than 9 million combatants and 7 million civilians. As far as it is known, 7 members of Kappa Psi made the ultimate sacrifice. And thus Kappa Psi entered the 1920s, where it would face new challenges in a country swept up in progressive change.